This is my relationship mind dump on learning from over 8 years in my current relationship with my partner, and of course, the time before that. This is 3 lessons every young man must know for modern relationships. Because, like, let's be real, relationships today are more complicated than ever. There's dating algorithms with that just messing with people's intentions. People lie about what they want all the time. There's hope that just that was there, it feels like, is just slowly being stripped away and removed in every conversation that happens online. There's a real crisis out here. And I believe that these are three key things that any young person, really, but especially young men, could stand to learn and build from these lessons. So let's jump right into it. Lesson one is quite general advice, I will admit, but it is there's someone for everyone. I know it's simple, but like we're gonna call back to a classic here for a classic bit of advice, maybe a classic lesson, and we're gonna call back to GTA San Andreas. That's right. Remember CJ, the protagonist? CJ in San Andreas has different romantic interests throughout the game. There's several different people you can choose to date, and each of those people will have different preferences for CJ. Because unlike the other games, you're able to take CJ and actually work on him like you can work in real life. You can choose to go to the gym and spend time, doing press ups and hitting the exercise bike, or you could spend all your time at a Cluckin' Bell stuffing your face with fat chicken burgers. And whatever you decide to do as CJ, there are different girlfriends with those preferences. So one wants him like really muscly, one wants him as a larger build guy. Obviously, it's a really simple example. It's a really simple bit of advice. But what does it really mean? It means that no matter what you see in the mirror or how you feel about yourself, someone out there is into exactly what you have, what you're bringing to the table. So don't try to fit in to another person's ideal, right? Again, a bit like that Fight Club scene where they're looking up on the subway at like the underwear ad, and he's like, "Oh, that's real, huh? That's a real man." And it's like literally Brad Pitt saying it with an 8-pack, but that type of thing. Stand out. Contrast creates connection. Remember to be yourself. Okay, lesson two. Moving on. This one probably the most important lesson, to be perfectly honest, sandwiched right in here. This is that real love takes work. Again, super simple. I know it is way too often that we hear that love should be effortless. Love should be as easy as breathing in a fall breeze as you watch the leaves blow by. But that's not all there is to it, okay? In my eyes, the work of a relationship, it's not work like a second job. It's work like an investment in yourself. And again, for this one, I want to throw it over to Michael from The Good Place. Michael in The Good Place tells us that two people are initially attracted to each other. All right, what I like to refer to as the beauty and the banter phase, right? He's good looking, she's good looking, they make you laugh, stuff starts going. But then Michael says that really a relationship starts when those two people sit down and decide to put the work in together, decide to look at who they are and what they want and need, and that they're no longer going to face the world alone on a solo expedition, but that now they're going to join it as a united front, striving every day to be a better person and a closer version of the best version of themselves that their partner deserves to be with, you know? So just remember that whatever phase you're in, or if you're going through, if you're in the early days of a relationship, you're like 6 months or a year, even a year and a half or so in, the beauty and the banter phase is going to start to go. All right, you're going to see elements in your partner that like aren't the most ideal, right? For example, I used to be super hyper defensive. Like, again, I think a part of it was related to undiagnosed autism, which kind of takes a lot of things as like an attack when it's really just feedback. But I had to learn in my relationship that um, the habits I had learned over the course of my early life really were not serving me anymore. And every time we went to communicate about something about our relationship, I was kind of just not really hitting the brakes, but I was hitting this wall, and I was just taking everything so personally, and I was making everything a dramatic event that created a lot of like friction that we couldn't really move past. We had to just stop and figure out my emotions and stuff like that. So again, to sum up lesson two, it takes real work. Okay? You become someone who's great to be with by showing up, improving, and choosing to be better for your partner and yourself. Every day it's a decision, every single day. Okay? And you just need to find someone who wants to make that decision for you, who you're worth it for. Okay. Let's move on to lesson three. All right, now lesson three, just as helpful, a little bit raw, okay? But I promise it's going to help. Like the therapist in Ted Lasso says, the truth is going to help, but it's going to piss you off first. So, lesson three is self honesty. From this one, we're learning from Jeff in Community. Jeff tells us that 9 out of 10 lies are told 6 inches from the bathroom mirror, and that we do almost all of our lying alone. Okay? Now, I'd say that's fairly true. I'd say that's fairly true. We lie to ourselves about stuff being other people's fault and not being our fault. We lie to ourselves that an issue that we have that we're needing to deal with and that is going to take work and attention just isn't there or will wrap up by itself. Again, this tip really comes down to actionable steps, okay? Small things you can actually do to improve your life right now. So, it can be super simple. It just needs to be anything that is one going to obviously make you more attractive, more of a valuable option to a potential partner, and two, the main thing, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. See if you take the time today to write 3 small steps, right? And it could be like grooming, right? It could be, if you have a bit of a beard and it's just overgrown, it's kind of in your face. Obviously, it's in your face, but you know what I mean. Like it kind of gets a bit long around the mouth, and you kind of feel this extra weight. Maybe it's just that. It's just having a shave and feeling like a closer version of kind of who you feel you should be. You know, or maybe it's a bigger step, like finding clothes that more speak to who you are. This is like a baggy green thing, but it's got little elbow patches, which makes me feel nice, makes me feel more intelligent than I am. So therefore, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it because I'm doing like a educational advice type video. You know, so really, these small steps all add up. And honestly, I would highly advise if there's something you're interested in, something that maybe you've put down before, or something that's been at the back of your head, to get into that thing. Small steps like helping your physical appearance or getting a daily affirmation for your mental health, super positive, and is laying the better tracks for becoming who you want to be. But if you become interested in something in life, you become more interesting to other people. So it becomes less of a fight to think, what do I talk about? How do I relate to this person? Because you can talk about and relate whatever you're interested in. You're passionate about that in the way they're passionate about, working on cars or books or games or whatever it is. So that was a lot of stuff. That was a lot of honest self-talk, okay? So I want to wrap up today. I know that we're around 10 minutes. So let's wrap this up, let's conclude, and let's recap. 3 lessons, one at a time. Number one, there are many kinds of people looking for many kinds of love. Number two, it's not just about looks, it's about what you're building together. It's about the work. And number three, if you're honest with yourself and willing to put in that effort, real, healthy love is possible. even in this messy world, even in this horrible culture right now. So, I'm going to leave you with one last thing. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down 3 small things you could take today. Just like having a shave, or even changing your outfit, or maybe putting some items in a basket online or something that is going to make you feel more positive, okay? I want you to just write 3 things down, and I want you to do one small action. Just one thing. That's it. And trust me, if you do that one thing, you're going to feel so positive about it. You're going to have such a dopamine rush because it's weight that you've been putting on yourself about not being happy, not being content, constantly asking, why aren't I having success here? And like the final thing I'll leave you with, if you're struggling and finding anything to write down on that list, you're just drawing a blank. Try to think, if you were someone that was interested in yourself, and that might be hard for you to imagine. You might have really low self-esteem, but you're obviously interested in other people. So just try to do your best ability to act for a wee second, like Ian McKellen, and pretend that you're someone who would be into your type of person. All right. Ask, why would they be interested in me? What do I have that draws someone in? And if you don't have a couple list of regular things, try to note down what is going against you, what you feel is deterring people, you know. And from hopefully that question, you should have a couple answers there on that page. And if you can pick one tiny action to move you forward, then you're in the right direction, my friend. You're moving at pace. And I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you because it took me so long. I mean, I'm still ignoring stuff right now, today, but look, we're all works in progress. We're all just moving forward, aren't we? All right. So that is ourselves finished, my friends. This is kind of our first more advice video instead of just a podcast here on the Adam Dean channel and the Attempt to Understand podcast and Substack. So if you're still around, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, those are the 3 lessons that hopefully will give you some value today. There's someone out there for you. Love takes work. It all starts with being honest with yourself. All right. Keep going, people. You've got this. I believe in you. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye bye.